And welcome into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. Definitely going to dive into a couple things today. Got a recruiting video we want to hit, kind of covering what Alabama's been up to on the recruiting trail. Plus, I'm sure Pat will love this. It's going to talk a little bit about a couple big names that, are some targets for Alabama that could be potential pickups. Not to mention, Chase just did inform me and reminded me, appreciate that, Chase, that we did actually pick up another commit. I think it was right after the show, actually. This time coming from a safety. We'll dive into him and what that looks like, how he might fit into this defense. One preview I'll say about him, man. If you guys like length in the secondary, you like guys that are long, rangy guys, man, he might be right up your alley. So we'll talk about who that was and what that means for this defense. Plus, we always love to break things down. We've got videos to get into. We're going to listen to them, break them down, react to them, and you guys know the drill. After that, we want to hear from you guys. It is a Talking Tuesday, meaning you guys are in that co-host chair. So we're relying on you. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. I want all you guys lining up on the phone lines. Q, Tommy, Pat, Ricky, whoever, man. You guys want to hop on here, let's go ahead and load it up. I know you guys got some probably got some questions for us. Hopefully you do. It's the dog days of summer, but it's one of those dog days. There's not really anything huge going on right now. So we're definitely going to have some fun. But again, Talking Tuesday means we're looking forward to talking to you. Not only can you call us on the phone lines, you can always download that Tide 100.9 app. That is completely free. You download that. You can leave your app messages there. We'll get to them. We'll read them. And we'll discuss that live on air. Plus, you can always join us on the YouTube stream. YouTube.com. Just type in the Miller's Edge. You can't miss it. We stream live every day, Monday through Friday, as we do the show. If you guys prefer a visual, prefer to watch me do it, anytime we play clips, you can actually see the clips themselves. I know personally I've always kind of been more of a video podcast guy than the audio only. So if you guys prefer that, check us out on YouTube at the Miller's Edge. Completely free. The only thing we ask is you drop us a like and subscribe. That definitely helps things keep on rolling. We did talk a lot about the whole conversation or the whole controversy with the Florida State quarterback and what he said. I guess there's a couple little updates. Maybe this was, deeper in the article. We didn't get there. We might circle back a little bit. Really talked about it enough, I feel like. But there's a couple things I might add to what he said that I didn't talk about yesterday. Still kind of in disbelief that he's very confident like that. But so be it. I think that definitely some good bulletin board material for us. We mentioned a little bit about some of the playoff expansion talk. Well, Josh Pay had put out a video about his odds of teams making the playoffs. So we might dive into that a little bit. I know it's way too early, but it is kind of interesting to go ahead and look down the road, especially if you're talking about small changes to the format this year, really just kind of how, teams are, I guess, compensated for where they end up at, so to speak. But might take a way too early look at where some people feel some of these teams might end up. Good news is Alabama is definitely one of those top teams. We'll dive into that here in a little bit. So far, that's what we got on the ticker. Anything that comes up, we definitely will cover per usual. But first, we're going to hit this quick timeout. After I remind you about our friends over at the Good Feet store. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Make sure you guys check them out. Midtown Village is where you can find them. I'm telling you, if you're in any type of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, head on over to the Good Feet store, where they will take care of you. Clinically proven to do so in just 4 short weeks. Easy process, just 3 steps. Pop them in your shoes and get to work. That's all you got to do for that pain relief. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. It's actually one of those things that actually is true, even though it sounds too good. Check out the Good Feet store. Again, they are nationwide. Go to their website, goodfeet.com. Type in your zip code. They'll pull up the nearest location to you. 3 locations through Alabama as far as I'm concerned. Definitely here in Tuscaloosa, Midtown Village. You got to check them out. They are first class. All of them are first class, the way they take care of you, get you ready to roll. That being said, I hope you guys are taking advantage of them and their arch supports like I've been doing the last couple of years, feeling better than ever. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we get rolling on this Talking Tuesday. I see you guys rolling in the YouTube chat. You guys want to hop on the phone lines? We're opening it up. It's a Talking Tuesday right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet store. America's Arch Sport Experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
When shopping for a new car, you have options. At Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, they treat their customers.
What's up, C? What's up, Q? Both Qs. Q06, QD. Dwight. What's going on, guys? QD, I saw you tag us in something on X. Was it some pass rush drill or something, man? Don't get me started on the pass rush drills with no pads, man. There's a certain way to do it, man. If the kids nowadays, they just be trying to bull rush through people, man. You can't do that. Dang, wait. Several listeners blocked you. What'd you do? Oh, Lord. You over there crashing out again, QD. Come on, man. What are you crashing out for now, man? It's literally the summertime. What is there to crash out on? what Wait, hold on. Jason, what's going on, man? Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Do you guys know anybody else? Obviously you do. Send the show out. Send the link out. I'm sure you guys know how to do that. If not, man, just look at the bottom of the video. It says share. Help us grow it, man. Obviously, the more people, the merrier. It's going to be more fun. And it's already, building back up. Man, we used to have it jumping on here. Really was crazy, guys. It was 2 football seasons ago when we really started fooling around on YouTube. Because it was like the whole UCF or USF time. We ain't even we just started the channel. We just hopped on here, man. We had buku people in here. Then we kind of stopped posting on here for a minute. We're back on here, man. But consistency is the key. So obviously, the point is, you guys know anybody, man, that Bama fans, sports fans, just like having a good time, just cutting up, man. And 2, it always makes it better when you guys drop us. So like QD, like when you tag us and stuff. Anytime you guys see something things interesting, tag us in it. Like literally anything, video, whatever, something you want us to break down, just tag us in it. And we'll talk about it. It's always fun, just like the LSU moms yesterday in the uniform stuff. And we were having fun with it, man. I hope no disrespect. We were just having fun with it. But G Bama boy, what's up, man? Roll Tide. Yeah, I'll pull up that clip. We'll start with that, QD. Because I need to explain. Because, it was crazy, QD. I feel like I need to educate, man. Because people see these clips and at the Miller's Edge is our Twitter handle. I'll type it in here. People see these clips, man, and sometimes they're just like, oh, man, a great rep. But see, I'm just like, not impressed, bro. I'm not impressed. You can't bull rush in a drill with no pads, man. That's like these guys don't know better. Coaches try to tell them not to do it. They do it. I see it all the time at these high school camps. And then the defensive guys are like fired up. I'm like, nah, that ain't it. We don't have pads on. See, like even like when they tweet, like they do like the eye emoji, like it's like, oh damn, like. And we're back on this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. It's a pretty slow day in terms of news and whatnot. So if you guys got anything fun, man, I told you guys what I already got pulled up that we're going to hit on. But I was just telling everybody in the YouTube chat, man, you guys are more than welcome. If you guys have X, I encourage you, follow us on there, number 1, at the Miller's Edge. And 2, you guys ever see any news articles, video clips, whatever? Because again, we got the stream now. You can tag us in videos. Tag us. We'll react to it live. I personally, Chase, I don't know about you. I always like nowadays, like, and I'm not just talking about like what we're doing like via YouTube stream, but like streamers in general, man. It's like the new wave, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this. Maybe it's a younger generation thing, but like the new thing nowadays is people literally live stream like everything they do. Like Kai Cenat, Speed, these guys literally just travel the whole world and they have a following by just recording everything they do. But what they also do when they're not traveling is they're like sitting down in front of a computer, kind of like what we're doing here on the YouTube channel. And they react to stuff. And it's just funny just watching reactions and stuff. So anyway, what's up, Todd? I see you dropping by. What's up, man? Appreciate that. But I encourage you guys, check us out on X. If you guys see anything like QD did, tag us in it. We'll talk about it. So let's start there. All right. So let me share this on the screen. Radio listeners, I'll do my best to explain it. So QD, big time supporter of the show. He always is finding some stuff for us. So he found this clip, right? And it's a clip of it's some type of camp, probably a big man camp, some type of, I don't know, maybe a rivals camp. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely some type of high school football camp. And it's the one-on-one drills, right? So normally at these camps, you always have, you got the 7-on-7s going on. And then with like the big man camps or that portion of things, you got the one-on-ones, right? Everybody gets excited about it. I used to enjoy it because, obviously gave me a chance to show my pass rush ability. But here's the thing with these drills, right? And so this video comes from On 3 Recruits, which we're going to listen to a video about Alabama from them in a minute. But I guess it's Texas 5-star edge commit Richard Wesley. I don't know if that's the guy that was doing cannonballs with Dan Lanning, then 3 weeks later was hopping on a plane to Texas and committing there. I don't know what they offered him, probably a lot of money, but he flipped pretty quick. Anyway, he's going against, it looks like a Tennessee offensive tackle commit. Puts a dude on his butt, right? If you guys on the YouTube stream, you can watch the video. But anyway, a lot of people just like, they tweet, they got the eyes emoji, like, man, like, look at this. And I will say, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not impressive. Like, obviously, dude, it looks explosive, looks powerful. But here's why I'm not like impressed when I see these types of clips, which I know you guys are like, oh my God, you guys on this show are always so. No. Let me just, from a football perspective. What's the thing we notice here, Chase? Nobody's wearing pads, right? What's the number one rule at these camps or any type, whether it's a Bama camp, a rivals camp, whatever, any type of camp, when you're doing the O-line, D-line portion, the number one rule with no pads is no bull rush. Number one is to protect guys because, number one, you don't want to just be running in there risking hitting somebody head on head or, seeing stuff like this. Is really to protect guys. But also, the offensive line's at a pretty big disadvantage if you think about it, right? Because they can try to brace and do what they can, but they can't have that same level of physicality that they would blocking you without pads, right? Because they're, in their mind, they're, obviously they're not protected. So when I see guys do this, which again, man, dude obviously is strong. I don't know this guy's measurables that he's throwing around like this, but he's at least 6'7". Kid's got to be at least 6'7". And I'm going to get into some of the fundamentals too that the dude did wrong, why he got thrown like a rag doll here. But I will say the dude goes to a stutter bull. That's the move he's using. You see him come off the ball. He peppers his feet, immediately gets inside. But I'll say this. Outside of the breaking the bull rush rule, I will say if they did have pads on, this would be a hell of a rush, right? Pepper step to get the tackle off his feet. But what the tackle does wrong, and I'll pause it, he's way too high. Way too high. That's why they always talk about, pad level in football, especially when you're a tall guy like this, right? You can't play straight up like that. You can't. Whether you're offensive guy, defensive guy, like I used to have that problem. I'm 6'4", right? When I used to pass rush, I used to just come up and have my chest up. What used to happen? I used to get punched in my chest all the time. That was one of my biggest critiques because I played too high. Lowest man is always going to win. You always think about that in like a, one-on-one, like a run block type setting, right? When guys are just going head to head. But it's very much true in pass rush too. You see this right here. And what does help them get that guy like that too is the pepper step, right? When that tackle sees that defensive line, I'm giving y'all some pass rush game and some offensive lineman game. So if you guys got some kids out there, go ahead and put them on the show, man. I'm putting out free game right now. When those tackles see that defensive end pepper his feet like that, it makes them freeze. Why? Because he doesn't know what direction that guy's about to go. When you're peppering your feet, it's almost like doing a crossover in basketball, right? You got the head fake going, right? The shoulder movement. You're making the guy kind of think. That guy's like, oh, is he about to go inside? Is he about to stay outside? He doesn't know. But that little bit of indecisiveness makes him do what? He freezes. He stands up, and now he's not nearly – when a guy is standing straight up like that, they have no power. Like the science, just think about it. A guy that was playing at 235 like myself, the science behind it doesn't make any sense why I would be able to go put a 330-pound tackle on his ass like that. But the science shows that the lower man with the lower center of gravity, a guy that's, coming off the ball with explosiveness, you can do that when you have the right technique. I don't know this edge guy's measurables. He definitely looks bigger than I was. So, I mean, he probably stronger, hell, a lot stronger and bigger than I was at this size. But I will say, man, outside of the no bull rush rule, impressive rep. Now, the tackle didn't give himself a chance standing straight up like that, to be fair. And they don't have pads on you. You're not supposed to do that. But That's what I got from that clip. Now, Keedy, I don't know if you wanted me to break that down from that football perspective. Hope you enjoyed that. But if not, if you wanted me to check the guy out, I will say, I mean, I'm impressed with the clip. I wish we can get some more guys like this to come, rush off the edge like that. Like to me, like when you see a guy that's like 17, however old this kid is, and he's already kind of rushing with technique like that, you see something. You know what I mean? Like that's why I try to tell when, for example, like Pat loves recruiting, man. It's like, oh, this guy, and you look at numbers and stuff. That's why I don't get so much caught up in the numbers. Numbers, yeah, cool, but everybody in high school doesn't have big numbers. What I like seeing is this. This type of clip is what separates. Like if I see another edge guy, like the kid we watched yesterday that committed to us, he demonstrated some good hand work. You know what I mean? Some good hand technique, stuff like that. But to me, like this catches my eye a little bit more. Why? Because number one, everything starts with a get off. A pass rush is all about the get off. This dude is explosive off the ball. He's explosive off the ball. Only critique I would say is, I was always taught when you're pass rushing, a lot of guys do this, and I used to do this in high school. He's exploding off the ball, but he's pepper stepping like immediately. When I say pepper stepping, that means like tap tap tap. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to explain it, but you guys get what I'm saying. He's chopping his feet, kind of right. You're supposed to gain ground. What happens is when you pepper step too early, you're not gaining ground, right? So I'm trying to slow this clip. See how his first step, he don't really gain much ground. A good tackle, even though you're pepper stepping, a good that makes the tackle have to go nowhere. You see what I'm saying? So what you really want to do is you want to gain ground and explode off the football, gain ground first, make that tackle come out to you. Why? Because then that opens up space. We always just say you got to take space to create space. What does that mean? So that means you fly off the football, you go upfield vertical, you're taking space to create space inside because that makes him come to you. When you just pepper step like that, he doesn't have to move. And a good tackle is not going to play so high. A good tackle is going to brace, and as soon as he tries to go that bowl or go inside, they're going to lock you up. You might push it back a little bit, but the good tackles, man, that ain't going to happen. Now, this kid, obviously, I'm sure he's going to be a good player, but he's still learning. Edge guy just looks a little bit more polished right now than the other guy. But anyway, good rep, though. But appreciate you tagging us in that, QD, because it gave us an opportunity to break down some football talk. So I know you radio listeners probably like, we want to see. Well, if you guys want to see it, it's on 3 Recruits. They posted it not too long ago. Or you can just check us out on the YouTube stream where you can watch the videos on here. So anyway, hope you guys got some good pass rush knowledge and even a little bit of offensive tackle knowledge. I never played offensive tackle, but obviously I used to go against them every day. So I can I guess I can teach from that perspective a little bit. So there's that. All right. Which leads me to, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We got Q06 on the phone lines, and we'll talk with him, see what he's got to say. But again, if you guys ever got anything that you want us to discuss like that, tag us, send it in, let us know. I love breaking stuff down like that. Or hell, if there's a play or something, whatever. You know how we do, man. We pride ourselves. We talk ball on this show. We don't break news. We talk ball. That's going to be our new motto, Chase. We don't break news. We talk ball. And again, little snippet. Now, I don't want to say too much, but we will be talking a lot of ball this upcoming season with some very familiar faces. So that's going to be exciting. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We're going to have some frequent visitors on here talking ball. So that being said, let's hit this timeout. We come back. We will keep things rolling on this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
At Tuscaloosa.
All right, sorry guys, I didn't mean to get in my coaching mode, but I can't help it, man. When it's stuff like that, man, it just comes out. And don't mind the wrestling, man. I'm a big wrestling guy. I just hit home and immediately. Me and Chase enjoy this. Chase, I don't know if you're a big Karrion Kross guy. Everybody's pushing to get Karrion Kross. They're pushing to get him pushed. That's what they say in wrestling. When a guy kind of gets I don't know, pushed. How else do you explain that, Chase? Like when he gets I don't know, not promoted, but they give him an opportunity. That's what it means. To get an opportunity. That's what that means. Let's see. We got that recruiting video to get to, but we're going to go to Q06 when we come back. Oh yeah, that would be good because I forgot to mention that part. Yeah, we'll play that recruiting video. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Chase. But it's crazy. Then we're going to have to explain what getting over means. Getting over is like winning over the crowd. Gaining a big following, a big support. Justin, what's up, man? Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. We need to do a wrestling 101 class. Hell, as slow as it is, we might as well do some damn wrestling lessons on here too. I mean, at this point, I'm like, dang, there's got to be something big. Hell, the only news I've been really keeping up with that's been, really catching my attention is all the like the Iran stuff. But again, I'm into like geopolitics and stuff like that. So we're not gonna get into that on the show, don't worry. But in terms of like what's really just been thanks, Mike. Yeah, man. I'm telling you guys, if guys, it would be raps. Like if we could actually like play clips, like game clips without having to worry about the channel getting copyrighted and stuff, it'd be raps, man. We break all that stuff down. Maybe what we'll do is like if you guys have like a certain play or something in specific,
benefits check in.
We can like do it by like pictures, like slides, kind of like we used to do like in the NFL. You couldn't watch like the whole plays like on the iPad or the Surface tablets on the sideline. So what we did was you would get like, it was like 6 slides or something like that. You get like 6 slides to look at of like the sequence of the play. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll take the NFL Surface model. We'll just look at slides of plays to avoid being copyrighted. I like how you break down videos. Very interesting because it helps me understand some of the football lingo. But yeah, I love it, man. Hope everyone's having a great day. Oh, thanks, man.
This is available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
So bad. And welcome back into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge. I just got done talking about a little pass rush clip. Wasn't anything crazy, but hell, we broke it down like there's no tomorrow. So I mean, that was looks like you guys like that. I'll try to do some more of that. I mean, Mike was joking and said, "Don't break down any shovel pass." I saw enough of that last year. Well, you know what's crazy? That actually might be a good idea. Maybe we do need to break down a shovel pass play. Maybe I can find one and we can just skip through it with the sequence. That way we don't have to worry about getting copyrighted. And we can break that down. Because you know what's crazy, Mike? As annoying as that play was, and you guys are sick of seeing it. Seeing it. It actually is probably a good one to break down because there is, there's a method to defending a shovel pass play, right? And I don't feel like I've heard many people really talk about that. People are just like, oh, they think you just gotta go make the tackle. But no, there's people that have responsibilities on those plays, and there's keys, right, that you have to read pre-snap to be prepared for that. And I'll be honest, I think that was what was driving me nuts about that last year, is that I felt like guys were just like oblivious. And it's like once they do it one time, like when you go to that sideline, like again, the shovel pass like that, don't get me wrong, it especially when you're not really expecting it, it will catch you off guard. It's one of those smoke and mirror plays where it is really easy for you to first time, all right, but you got to know what you're looking for. That's why eye discipline is so important. Sometimes I did feel like last year as a defense, that is one of the things that I did notice defensively. Sometimes I did wonder with the new system being more kind of let guys flow and be athletes. Sometimes it felt like with that did come some undisciplinedness, and not in the sense of like penalties, but more so in the sense like guys are so focused on, going and making plays and just running around, flying to the ball, where you did end up lacking some of the discipline in terms of eye discipline, right? Assignment discipline, really understanding like, hey, man, like this is my pre-snap look, because football is not just see ball, get ball, right? Like, I mean, you got some opportunities here and there, but realistically, man, it's like chess. And a lot of the action really happens pre-snap, right? Like I'm telling you guys, maybe we'll play this video. And it's not about anybody Alabama. It's about probably the greatest football player I ever played with, and that's Luke Kuechly. And they did a special on this dude, and rightfully so. When I tell you he was the smartest football player I've ever been around, and it's not even close, hands down. And all the magic with Luke really happened. Obviously, he was the most probably athletically gifted guy, playing the position. But what it really was his instincts and his pre-snap awareness off the charts, man. Like when I tell you, like I played the edge spot, and I would just be sitting here behind me, just listening to this guy just shout everything out like that, like before it even happens. You would think this dude literally knew their playbook, which he basically did by studying so much tape that anytime he saw specific formations and tendencies, he knew, and he was calling it out, so we knew. Man, you talk about a special guy, man. Like if you guys ever want to really like learn some football, man, if you ever watched like some documentary stuff on Luke Kuechly, man, that dude is insane. Anyway, that being said, let's go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Q06. Q06, welcome in.
Man, how you doing today, guys? Y'all good?
Oh, man, we're great, man. How are you?
Man, hot. Temperature is hot all over the world, man.
Yeah, no, it really is.
Birds having to blow before they eat worms, man. They blowing on the worms before they eat them. Hot. Hot up here. Hey, listen, man, here's what I got. I agree with QD, what he got talking about in the chat, because we get gaslighted. When we see that, everybody gets all hyped. We're getting the best pass rusher that is. It's not a best on best when you're really doing it that way. Put the pads on and see if it's like that when both guys got the pads on, then you know you got something. But you said it was a good rep. So I'm gonna ride with you because you play more football than me. But I just think that it just wasn't a real rep to me. I mean, the guy.
Yeah. No, and y'all are no. I agreed. I agreed on that. It wasn't. Again, it's almost like cheating the drill. It's kind of how I view it, because the offensive line doesn't have pads on, and literally the rule is no bull rushes when you're doing those type of pass rush drills without pads, right? So no, I agreed with you guys that it's cheating the drill. But what I was saying was, if he did that same technique with pads on, that actually was the right idea. The only, the knock was what I mentioned, I like to gain ground first, then pepper step. But other than that, no, I mean, he had played with good leverage. He set the guy up. He got under his eyes. He walked him to the quarterback and put him on his butt. Yeah, no. Everything, if it wasn't that setting, it would have been great. But y'all are right, though. Cheating the drill.
So, we're hearing all these kids that are going to these elite 11s and all these little camps out here. Does it really mean anything if you're the best quarterback at Elite 11? I know we got the quarterback last year. I mean, is that really say something when they go out there and they perform like that?
Oh, so now you're saying like with quarterbacks specifically?
Yes. I mean, they're out there. I guess our quarterback we have coming in next year, year after, I guess he was the best last year in the Elite, whatever. And then we had K-Dot, a little kid that's coming in for quarterback now. I mean, what really goes on? I mean, I've never seen those camps or videos or Elite 11s or whatever. I mean, what's bad for them to get to be that level? I mean, what's done?
So that's a good question, Q. So basically, I would say this. It's look, it's thrown on air. Obviously, there's no defensive lineman. There's no pass rush. You know what I mean? They do have a clock in 7-on-7, typically about 3.5, 4 seconds. I can't remember what the exact time is, but they do have to get the ball out by that time to simulate if there was, a pass rush indeed coming at you. But I'll say this, I mean, like, can you completely judge a guy off of that? No, right? Because some guys, when it comes to game time, you can look great on air. You can look great throwing the ball when nobody's coming at you. But when the game lights are on and everything, all that noise is there and everything is live, as you're in live bullets, what we call. That's to me, I'd rather watch his high school tape, right? Like, how does he play in that setting? You know what I mean? But I will say you can look at traits and characteristics. There's a reason why, high school quarterbacks are expected to go throw in person, right? Because it does sound a little contradictory that you're like, oh, well, if throwing on air doesn't mean anything, why do these coaches still want to see him in person? Because there is something to gain from seeing them throw in person, right? You can actually watch.
Like throwing at the combine. I mean, Like at the combine, they throw at the NFL combine. They're going to judge a guy on his talent because he doesn't go out there and throw on the combine. So,
yeah, I would argue. Yeah, no, it's a great question, Q. No, you're good. It's a great question. I would argue that the order of operations when it comes to really, like scouting a guy, I would say game tape is, probably the top thing. Obviously, measurables are important, right? People, like my dad was talking about, like when Coach Saban was recruiting me and he made the comment, we can make you wider, but we can't make you taller. You know what I mean? Like that is something that they pay attention to. But in terms of everything else, game tape is going to be probably the main thing. What you put on the game tape is really, that's your resume. And then I would say, you got stuff like the 40 type stuff. That's a little bit lower. That's just more so checking boxes. But like throwing on air, they take that into consideration. Like that is your ability to do it. But there obviously are differences doing it there. You got to also be able to apply it in a game-like setting, which that's what the game tape will show.
And something else too, you just mentioned earlier about the shuttle pass, and what it is I think Vanderbilt has seen tendencies of Alabama. So they think back to the South Florida game where it was 16-14 going into the fourth quarter. So they think about how that was going down. What was happening during that game? Alabama was running upfield, just out of position, and people see tape. They see the tendencies of Alabama's defense last year. There were a lot of plays I thought we were going to get long runs broke on us because guys were just flying to the ball, not in the right position, right place. So I think that's why the shuttle pass works so well. And I mean, it might be something that's still on defense if they don't figure it out. What you say?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. And that was, again, when I look at last season in our defense, that. Because I do a post-game show, right, with the network, right, over with Crimson Tide Sports Network. And that was one of the common themes that kept coming up when I was doing our post-game breakdown was that there were just times where it just felt like guys were undisciplined in that aspect. Lack of eye discipline that kept coming up. I remember I frequently commented on that. The good news is all that stuff can be cleaned up. You know what I mean? And I think they will. I think when they go back and watch the tape, the good news is, these coaches, because now, it's their second year with these guys, they'll be able to go back and they'll be able to say, look, this is what we did wrong here. That stuff you can fix. You can fix eye discipline. You can fix, fundamental type things, right? And now is the time to start working on that, especially in the summertime. Then you get into fall camp, you got to, reapply it and make sure you reestablish that. But that's what I would say to that, Q. I think you're right. Those things definitely did pop up. But I do feel good about
the whole reason I called even the show today is Talking Tuesday. I'm going to say this. I'm going to get off the phone. The thing that makes me the most kind of upset right now as a fan is that Alabama, we're sitting here getting players from Illinois and Rutgers, and we have to bring people from there. Are we recruiting the state of Alabama? Are we getting the best players in Alabama? Have we just set the ground and we're going to go after our guys down there? I mean, to me, it just seems like we kind of missed out on the Alabama, the Tennessee, the Mississippi, and all the guys down there. We go up to let's just say New York or wherever, we get guys. So that's the thing. The reason I made call in Tuesday. This is something that's been bothering me for a little while. Is that the Freddie Roaches and all the guys, they do a great job recruiting. So are we missing any talent in the state of Alabama and down south, what used to be the butter? Back in the day, Gene Songs and all the guys used to come to Portland and Hazelwood, Alabama, and they just come to those areas, and they got the best players. They came down, but they didn't win championships like Nick Saban, but there used to be a pride and joy. They came to Alabama, and the best players in Alabama stayed in Alabama. I'm going to go back on my porch. I'm going to get off my grass. I'm going to leave. But that's just how things used to be. And I know those are good old days. Tia's listening. Don't call in and rip me. Tia's probably listening. QD's probably somewhere clapping. And then I need my other guy to call in and just tell me how it is. But anyway, guys, that's what I'm talking about. If you guys have to think about it after I get off the phone, anybody have any thoughts on it, let me know how we're doing recruiting in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I'll say this. Appreciate that.
Call in, Pat. Where you at, Pat? Let me know, Pat.
Yeah, Pat's our recruiting expert. Yeah, I appreciate that, Q06. Yeah, to be fair, you definitely got a good point. I remember saying that last year that I did feel like we probably should have recruited better in the state, but it made sense. The staff just got here. I wasn't stressing over it, but that was one thing. As well as our recruiting class did last year, that was one thing that did stand out. We did lack a number of guys from in-state, at least the top guys in-state. I feel like Auburn definitely had the leg up. Looking at it this year, I got it pulled up on the stream here. It looks like we're in contention for Shadarian Morgan, 6'4" wide receiver who is a 5-star player out of Alexander City, Alabama. Looks like it's kind of split. At least the predictions have it split, leaning a little bit more towards Alabama. That would be huge. The second guy in the state, Anthony Jones, committed to Auburn. Was he at one point committed here? Or maybe I'm thinking to somebody else. I don't know. But anyway, we'll see there. It looks like he's trending towards Auburn. Looks like my dad's Gamecocks are leading the way for a quarterback who's a third-ranked player. I'm going off of 24/7. It's probably different for On3. Texas has a guy, defensive lineman out of Birmingham. We do have Zion Gibson, cornerback. And looks like we're trending for Xavier Crowell as well, a running back out of Jackson, Alabama. Outside of that, Q06, you got a point, man. Not too much traction with in-state guys. So definitely something you want to see improve on. I think it's always big. I mean, you first got to take care of the state. Obviously, you're recruiting well, your top 5 recruiting class. If guys are coming from out of state, look, you're still getting good players. It's great, but I've always been a firm believer, man. You got to take care of business in-state, man, especially when a lot of them start going to the in-state rival, man. You don't want that to happen, which kind of what was the case last year. Not so much this year, maybe a little bit, but we'll see. We got to get the ball rolling with the in-state guys. I do agree with you. So good point there. All right, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We go back to the phone lines. We got Carson up next on this Talking Tuesday edition of Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch sport experts. We'll be right back.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow trucks, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit drivesafealabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama,
we are here treating patients from every generation
across the United States
and from around the world.
We're here for the rookies and the dreamers trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Remember the 1970s? A lot has changed, but one thing has not changed: Washington's regulations on local stations. Regulations that make it tough for local TV and radio stations to compete with global big tech platforms. If you want to keep local news and live sports on TV and radio, we need updated regulations. Tell Washington to modernize the rules to help local stations compete. Learn more at nab.org/modernize the rules. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. You're careful with your money. Fraud
needs to be on top of the priority for sure. 14th in sacks, man. No bueno. No bueno.
asc.alabama.gov. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
I wonder what we ranked in terms of pressures, though. I mean, I know sacks and tackle for loss, we were like damn near last in the conference, but what about pressures? If pressures was a little bit better, I mean, that's, at least something. I don't, again, even if it's better, I don't expect us to be much higher, but I just wonder if we at least were a little bit better with our pressure rate. Pressure rate. Let's see if we can find this real quick before we come back. Let's see if we can find this stat.
With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Just got done talking with Q06. Good conversation there. We got Carson up next, but I will say this, Chase. Let's do this. Let's hold Carson to this top of the hour break. We'll even get out of this one a little early. That way we can get him on sooner. But I just want to make sure he's got plenty of time. By the time we get him on here, he'd only have like 4 or 5 minutes to talk before we have to hit this break. So Carson, just hang tight for just 5 minutes or so, and I promise we'll come right to you. In the meantime, we can discuss a couple of these YouTube comments. We've got QD first. He says, Christian, I think the key to this defense this year is the defensive line play has to be elite for Bama to reach the SEC and national title goals. Defensive line plays definitely got to be better, right? We talked about it last week, but to bring it back up, I want to say we were like 14th in sacks. And I think we were even worse in terms of tackles for loss. So the two of those together clearly aren't up to par. That's got to be better, right? Got to improve on that. Now, if you go watch the tape again, you can't always look at numbers. So you go watch the tape, you will see where we force some pressure. I try to pull up our pressure rate. I'm sure PFF has it. I didn't want to waste too much time trying to do it before we came back. So I'll keep trying to find it. But I would imagine, based off of what I've seen on tape, what I remember watching last year, we got some pressure, right? It's not like we never forced pressure. We did force some pressure, right? I'd imagine our pressure number is going to be a little bit higher than our sack production total. However, I do agree with Wyatt, who followed up after QD and said, big point of emphasis I hope to see this year is D-line creating pressure and finishing sacks, not allowing broken plays to thrive, for opposing offenses. Why is that important? Well, we're talking about FSU's quarterback, Tommy Castellano. We were talking about him yesterday. Turn on his tape. You look at the type of player he is, right? I mean, 5'9", 5'10". I mean, dude is mobile, right? He can run. You're going to see a lot of zone read type action with Florida State in game one, right? We saw how Pavia was able to take advantage of our defense. We saw how Jackson Arnold was able to take advantage of our defense using the quarterback running game, which, again, is kind of shocking because you would think our defense would be well-versed for that, going against Jalen Milroe, arguably the best dual-threat quarterback last season in college football. But we struggle with it. And it's not, the first time we've ever seen that. Hell, even when the reason Coach Saban recruited a 195-pound edge guy like myself out of South Carolina was because of a guy named Johnny Manziel, who really kind of set the stage for these types of quarterbacks. That being said, last season, you look at the tape, LT Overton, I mean, he was, frequently in the backfield, right? He was disruptive, right? We saw, Jamarian Latham, we saw guys make it, or at least making an impact on the other side of the line of scrimmage. However, there was a lack of finish, right? And that's leaving food on the table. That's leaving money on the table, right? We got to have those. I'd argue if you go back and you look at the amount of, missed plays or missed tackles that we had in the backfield where we should have had negative plays, but they ended up, turning into positives, that sack number probably would have been a whole hell of a lot better. I don't know if we would have been top 5, so to speak, but we probably would have at least been top 10 if we finished on some of those plays. So agree with both y'all, man. Defensive line play will be huge, especially given that, we've talked a bunch about this group, secondary group. You're looking to see an even better group there that was already really impressive last season. They only should be better this season with all the guys returning, with the young guys they brought in. All eyes are going to be on the defensive line. I mean, even, consistency with the running game. I think when we looked at it, numbers-wise, stopping the run, it don't look too bad. Because if you look at it, there is a good bit of it, a good bit of the time you look at it, we played well, good fundamentals, we're, decent stopping the run. But then other times it was like we forgot everything and let everything just go flying out the window, and we're giving up big plays. To me, that's another point of emphasis for this defense. Limit the explosive plays. I don't have a number on it. Maybe it just looked like there was more than it was, but from my eyes last season, that's how it felt. It felt like we gave up a number of explosive plays, right? And that's why the consistency word was so huge for me last year, is because our defense felt just a little inconsistent, right? 1 minute we're playing at a high level, we're 3 and out, we're getting off the field, we're forcing turnovers. The next, I mean, we're watching the offense, drive down the field, which again, I get it. You're not going to every single game, every single series just be some, brick wall and nothing's going to happen. I understand that. Right? Hell, we even gave up plays, right? Not like, even when we had top defenses, it happens. But the difference is doing it on a consistent basis, man. That really is what separates, the good defenses from the great defenses from the elite defenses, right? Elite defenses, you might see a big play like, with Coach Saban. We had a number, for everything. Literally, just so you guys know, there's a number for, explosive plays allowed, explosive run plays allowed, explosive pass plays allowed. I mean, literally, it was ridiculous. But we always review after every single game, how we performed, how many explosive plays we gave up for how many yards. And that's one thing, man, again, just to, compliment Coach Saban on how detail-oriented he was, man. When I say we went over every single number, right? That's why my dad plays around and says numbers are for nerds, right? Well, they weren't too good for Coach Saban, because Coach Saban used those numbers to, number one, he would show us on tape, but two, he would show us the numbers, meaning like what that really meant in terms of like, all right, if we didn't let this play happen, if we didn't have a bust here, if we didn't have a mental error here, this is how, we would have, like, this is how we would have fared, at the end of that game, right? But because we gave up this play, this is what happened, right? Or this is, he even would bring it back to like, all right, we had these guys stopped here. They get this explosive play. It turned into this. And then our offense didn't do this. So it's a swing of X amount of points. It wasn't just, we just gave up that one play. He would loop it back into everything, man. So you talk about detail-oriented, man, was huge. We got to hit this top of the hour break. This is a really good conversation. We'll piggyback in the second hour on it. Plus, we'll go to Carson. Wyatt does say the only thing he could find quickly was sack percentage, which was 6.05% last season. So I wonder where that stacks up with the rest. He does go on to say Wyatt Fulton, it is. Sack percentage was 5.88% at home, and on the road 6.29%. And was down roughly 3% in sack percentage from 2023, which 3% doesn't sound like a whole bunch, but I feel like when you're talking about those numbers, I don't know, maybe it is. 66 in the country last year. All right, there you go. Thank you, Wyatt. Wyatt's statistician / host / writer / whatever they need him to do. So thank you, Wyatt, for that. All right, we got to hit this top of the hour break. We come back. We keep on rolling this Talking Tuesday edition of Miller's Edge. Carson, we're coming to you right here at Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Big ups to Wyatt, guys. W. Wyatt in the chat for dropping all those real quick. My mind, it's the craziest thing. At least I think I can learn the language. Sometimes I feel like I don't. I feel like I've been wasting the last year and a half doing this. But in my mind, while I'm talking, it's so hard for me to be trying to type to look something up while continuing talking to you guys. So thank you, Wyatt, for that. And thank you, Chase, because Chase helps us out a lot too with that. While I'm talking, he looks stuff up. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm with you guys on all of that. What else did we get? Too much talk. I watch his tape. He has talent. If you're referencing the Florida State guy, yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. He's definitely got talent. He doesn't strike me personally, he doesn't strike me as anything like to be terrified of. The only thing that concerns me is just his style of play and just seeing how we struggle with it last year, really. But I mean, I'd imagine, that should be a point of emphasis. Number one, because of how, it affected us last year. But number two, hell, we got to play Vanderbilt again. They still got that Diego Pavia guy. So if you guys don't think that they're trying to better prepare themselves, and I'm just going to be honest with you, again, I just know for a fact that there was a lack of adjustments. There was sometimes you gotta, just experience some things to finally kind of understand, like, all right, maybe we do need to go about things a little bit different. Sometimes, whether it's ego or somebody being stubborn, you know what I mean? They don't want to, realize something until you actually experience it. And like, all right, I don't have a choice but to switch things up a little bit. I'd kind of describe it like that, I guess. Looks like Coach DeBoer sat down with AL.com. Something like that. We could listen to that a little bit. It's 29 minutes. Definitely not playing the whole thing, but maybe we'll play certain parts of it. Just think about getting him on the show this
9
week.
Tusk.
Since it's so slow, maybe I'll try to do that. It's just when everybody, right now, I feel like there's nothing really else new to really talk to him about. But I guess we could really kind of put our own football spin on it, really talk X's and
They're
O's.
on Tide 100.9. It's 94 degrees in
Kind of
Tuscaloosa
same old right now.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Talking Tuesday means you guys are the co-hosts, all you guys in YouTube chat, listeners on radio, callers especially. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. We got done hour number one talking a little bit about the defensive line. QD brought up a good point about their play and the significance of that this upcoming year. Why it was very, very helpful going and finding some of these stats that I was curious about in terms of pressure rates, things like that. I think we all can agree that, definitely some good things out of that unit last year. But I think one of the point of emphasis will be, them finishing, whether it's, finishing on those sacks, right? We saw a number of times guys in the backfield putting pressure on the quarterback, but just not finishing. So I think that will be huge. And obviously just them really dominating the line of scrimmage. Would love to get back to seeing that consistent physical presence on the line of scrimmage, playing on the other side of the football, really being dominant. That would be huge, given that you got a secondary that's definitely going to be, a talented group, man, and they got to work together, man. So to me, yeah, I'm gonna put that pressure on the defensive line, man. They got to be better. That being said, we got to go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Carson up next. Carson, welcome in.
What's up, Christian? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm great, man. Another day, another dollar. How are you?
Same old, dealing with this Louisiana heat, dude. It's I know people have been talking about the weather, but boy, it is hot.
I can only imagine there, man.
Oh, dude, it's rough. But I want to talk a little bit about the recruiting piece that you just got done talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not Pat, but I do follow recruiting, and more so about the ethos of recruiting, not necessarily just individual breakdowns of players. I do like I do put in chat sometimes, things I like to see out of a player. I'm not completely, a big dummy when it comes to evaluating a player. But
sure,
what I will say is, in terms of the state of Alabama, I'll push back on the previous conversation in that if you look at the pool of players in the state of Alabama right now, it's only about 15 to 20 guys that you really would want to go get if you're the level of program Alabama is. And that's no disrespect to those guys, but once you get outside of that top 20, a lot of those players are going to mid-major schools. They're going to smaller D1 programs. Troy, Memphis, Purdue, there's a lot of guys in that area. Not to say that we would never go get guys like that, but right now, as it stands, Alabama has the opportunity to get, at most, I would say 6 out of the top 15 players in the state of Alabama, which I think is a pretty good number. And considering most of those guys are at the top of that list. Sedarian Morgan, Tank Jones is still predicted and by on 3 to Bama. 31%. I know it's close, but I'll bring a second point. So I think we're doing okay in that category. I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying. It's not. Like, we're getting the cream of the crop, at least at the top of the list in the state of Alabama.
Well, I will say this real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but for this year, yes, it is better. We are in contention for a few of those top guys this year. Last year, and you can go see this on the stream when you get done.
Right.
But last year, we didn't land a single player in the top 12 in the state of Alabama last year. To me, that was a little concerning because I'm looking at it. Number one guy went to Oregon, fair. But after that, you just see Auburn, Ohio State, Ohio State, Auburn. You know what I mean? So last year, that was concerning. But you're right. This year, you're 100%. When you click on composite and for the state, we're Sedarian Morgan. We're up there, 57% prediction there. And then after that, the third ranked guy, 100% Alabama. Then the fourth ranked guy is committed to us. So much better this year compared to last. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
Throw that out there.
No worries at all. I appreciate the add to that. The second part of it I'll talk about, and what QO said before, why are we relying on these guys transfer or flipping their commit from Illinois and Rutgers and all this? And look, any other year, 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's a problem. Now I'm not. What did Courtney Morgan tweet yesterday? He said evaluations up. He put the stocks up, which means, if I had to guess, we are putting a major emphasis on getting the diamond in the rough guy. Where, this kid was committed to Illinois, or this kid is committed to Rutgers. But we know, we're trusting this evaluation that he's better than what he is. And I think it really goes into, or better than what he's ranked. And I think it really goes into the new era of the NIL and the new era of the portal era. When you look at, and this is just my insight, and you can give me your thoughts after, but I think there will be more of an emphasis on finding that diamond in the rough player because you only have $20.5 million to spend. So a lot of these guys who are 5-star guys, 4-star guys are going to take up the bulk of that NIL money for deals that you're getting. So it's going to be really important to find these guys who are 2-star guys, the Josh Jacobs of the world, the 3-star guys that you're banking. You're saying, hey, every sports site, they have it wrong. This kid is better than what he is. And so I don't look at, hey, we just got a kid from Illinois or we just got a kid from Rutgers. I'll turn on the tape and I'm like, okay, cool. What's the measurables look like? What can he be? And I'm not, I'll change my opinion on that. And I think that it's just kind of the new era where, and evaluations are going to be very, very important, and more so than ever, when it comes to getting this right in this era.
I think you're 100% spot on. I mean, you're virtually working with a salary cap, and what comes with that is, and that's what you're saying is what I was explaining last week when I was saying you're going to have to, recruiting is going to look a little bit different because you're going to have to crack down on who you are taking, because you're not going to be able to just sit there and go offer. Now, revenue sharing, like it's not like a thing of, oh, what we're talking about, like, we know the collectives are doing. No. Like, this is a real thing. You have to have a number for each guy. That's a fact, because you really are paying each player now. That's part of the game. You're not going to afford to go pay every top guy. It's not going to work out like that. And what we read, at least from what I read, says you can discuss what they're getting paid. They can agree to what they will be paid, like while they're still in high school when they sign. So what that means is you're going to have, it's not like you can say like, oh, we're just going to talk about it. No, like you're going to have things like playing out like on what they will make. And so you can't, it's not going to be easy to kind of run around and give these guys a run around and stuff like that. That being said, you're 100% right. I think evaluating is going to be a lot more critical, because you probably won't be able to take as many top players as you might have been able to in the past, unless you can just find ways to convince them to take a little bit less. But that's where, like you said, the evaluating comes in. And I'll say this, man, with high school recruiting, we see year in and year out, it's so hard to really evaluate guys. You know what I mean? Like
Agreed.
people can sit there and put rankings on guys, but if you go back and look, hell, I mean, I'll just play around and go look at from when I came out of high school. We'll go all the way back 10 years ago, 11 years ago in 2014 and look at the top rated guys. And you'll see there's a lot of hits, right? Like Leonard Fournette, you know, he's a good player, obviously played in the league. Myles Garrett, absolute dog, future Hall of Famer. Jabril Peppers, you know, he's been playing in the league. Cam Robinson still playing. Deshaun Hand still playing.
Right.
You look at the top 10, they were pretty solid. Dory Jackson, he played, you know, good player. But, you know, Quinn Blanding, I played with him with the Panthers. He was an undrafted guy, didn't really get things going. But you see Tony Brown, Speedy Noel. I don't even know if Speedy Noel, who once was viewed as like one of the best receivers.
He doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know if he ever got that chance. Marlon, Andrew Brown played a little bit. Dalvin Cook, obviously, we know him. Rashawn Evans, Tease Tabor played. So, like, what I'm getting at is, you know, some classes are going to be better than others, but what I'm getting at is there's so many kids, and I would argue, like, yeah, the top 25, top 50 guys, I mean, those guys, you can look at them and say, they've got something, right? The rest, I would argue, man, development honestly might be more important than really how they look coming out of high school. And the reason I say that is, how many times have we seen 3 stars or guys at small schools, other schools that weren't recruited, barely had offers, end up being really good players? You know what I mean? And so I think when you have the ability to go out there and scout, you're going to find guys that, maybe Barmore, you just look at it. There's guys that probably, they might be a 3-star. If they would have gone to a smaller school, they'd probably be okay. But say they did get a chance to go to a bigger school and develop the right way and be surrounded by better players, I'd imagine they're going to end up having a much higher trajectory than they would have at other programs. And that's why scouting, 100%. Evaluating, and development is so critical, especially nowadays. You're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll add a few more things before I go. I'll say it's very important to get it right. And also it creates leverage for the school, even though it's kind of against the player in some ways. Like the school will be able to say, all right, hey, you were committed to Rutgers before we evaluated you. You know, and I'm not saying they'll use it as in that way, but I'm just saying it creates leverage for the school too, where it's like, all right, we're going to offer this guy. We don't have to pay him as much because he was under the radar, and that kid knows that too. And so he's going to earn everything that he gets. And, you know, it's camp culture, you know, nowadays where guys get vastly overrated because of how many 7-on-7s they attend, how many of these camps they go to, what are their measurables, and it's only a part of it. So I agree with what you're saying, and you know, I'd had the thought for a while. It's like, you got to get it right. These evaluations are becoming so much more important because of that, and I think that they're doing a good job right now, and I'm not going to look at it at just the face value of, oh, this kid flipped from Illinois to Bama and flipped from Rutgers to Bama. I'm not going to write that off. That could have been one of the better players in their class, you know, you know, but
yeah, you just gotta let it play out and see how they develop. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, to me, you know, a 6'3" safety that kind of catches my eye. I'm trying to look at on his huddle. Only thing I see is something from a year ago. So I'll try to see if I can find something a little bit more recent. But to me, I'm like, look, man, you go grab a safety. Yeah, he might be a 3-star Rutgers, whatever. Who cares? But he's 6'3". If he can move well, if you can bring him in here and you're putting him in a DB room, and I know some of these guys will be gone, but, you know, Xavier Brown will still be here. And I know that's a different spot, corner, but still, they're all together, right? You put that 3-star around these 5 stars that you have, these really talented players, they're going to soak up all that knowledge. You're going to learn from them. And I'd imagine, you know, a guy like that, man, that's a lot of potential. And then plus you got to look at it. How many 5 stars have we had that have come here and haven't necessarily developed how you might have thought they would, right? Everybody's different. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch, man. So everybody's different. 100%. But I will say this real quick. I will add in terms of evaluating, you know, the guys that this staff brought in their first full class, the guys that are here right now, I feel like they did a really nice job with their evaluations, right? Obviously, the guys that were highly ranked, I mean, you kind of expected them to be pretty decent, but some of the 4 stars, lower 4 stars that this coaching staff had brought in, seeing them in the spring, I was impressed. And I would argue that, you know, their evaluation of a lot of these guys were pretty solid. Now, I know it's way too soon to say that. We have to see how they develop, how they, you know, actually play in game-like settings, all that. But from seeing them in the spring and how a lot of them already look to be, you know, at a certain point with them being so young and being able to see like, hey man, like he just got on campus. He's already doing some good stuff. I know he's, working with the threes and whatnot, but you can clearly see the talents there, the potential's there. I would argue, man, I have pretty solid faith in this group to be able to go out there and evaluate like that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything to say like, oh, we're worried about this. You just hope that it trickles down in game, especially for the guys coming in that are going to be getting more playing time. You just hope that they're able to produce the way that you expect them to produce. And the last part of what I was going to say is talking about attention to detail, the shovel pass that was in the chat, talking about that. And, especially defensively, it's like we got to get better with our eye discipline. Our gap integrity has to get better. And a lot of that was the defensive change. A lot of that was placed on aggression. Kane Womack wants these players to be aggressive. And it's a great football attribute. I'll put that in the chat, that it's a great attribute to have in the game, but you can't be a dummy, and you got to let your eyes get tricked. And I do think that there was a lot of emphasis on what we did downhill with our defensive backs. It was a big part because you saw of what we did with Malachi and what we did with Keon before he got injured, and then Bray afterwards, who I thought Bray made a ton of plays, but there were times where he got a little bit fooled, especially in the Oklahoma game, running the football. And I think, look, that's going to get better this year. I really do believe it. And I don't think we'll struggle with Vanderbilt the way that we did, or Florida State the way that we did years past.
No, I hope not, man, because it's like we saw it last year. We know what went wrong. We had all this offseason. We better not struggle with no damn Diego Pavia, especially in Bryant-Denny Stadium, where I might pull my hair out, Carson. So hopefully that's
no, sir. Won't happen.
Nah, I don't think so. Carson, we appreciate you, man. Great stuff as always, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking my call.
Always, man. Appreciate that. Good stuff. All right, we got to hit timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling on this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Again, we are live on YouTube. A lot of good conversation going on in the chat. Join us at the Miller's Edge. Drop on by. Get in on the conversation. We'd love to have you. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
$365.20.
All right. Let's see what you guys got. Cutie, I'm going to go back to that question here in a minute, too, that 335 question. I saw that. I didn't forget about it. Let me start real quick. You said, is this 335 defense geared towards the linebackers making plays? Another 3-4. The DL's job was contain blocks, make stalemates. What is the defensive line's main role in a 335? Well, it's a good question. So, I mean, it really kind of depends because there's different variations, right? So, like, what you see us do when we have a 335, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little bit interesting, right? Because we're taking the outside linebacker and we're putting him, like, mugged up in, like, the A gaps. He's, like, playing or sometimes playing, like, 2 yards off the ball. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really different to me. It's not a very traditional 335. And he's kind of plugging gaps, kind of playing free. It's almost I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm still trying to really wrap my head around it. But in terms of kind of the differences, yeah. So in the 3-4, you do typically you got bigger defensive linemen that are supposed to be, eating up blocks, right? They're supposed to be clearing things up for the linebackers. Like with our 3-4 system, it was always designed to help free up our linebackers, right? Our linebackers would be scraping and flowing over the top. So it was, the defensive linemen to eat up those blocks. Outside linebackers, we'd always be having to, go down and close on plays. If we got a down block, we got a puller coming. We got to go slam that, take two pullers, take on that guard and that tight end or sniffer, whoever's coming. That way our linebackers could flow and make plays, right? 3-3-5s, it's interesting. I mean, you're seeing a lot more of it given, the evolution of the offenses that we're going against. It allows you to when I say disguise more, just like when I was talking about the hovering the linebacker or mugging them in an A gap, right? You can move guys around, and it kind of is it gives you the ability to almost like confuse like blocking schemes. You see what I'm saying? Because then they have to decide like, hey, who are we blocking here? I mean, is this guy going to shoot this gap or is he going to wrap? It just allows you a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more of a
9-6-1-1.
I don't know, just like a deceptive ability, so to speak. But also, with offenses being, a lot more flexible, seeing them a lot more spread out. That's another reason you're seeing a lot more of these 3-3-5s pop up. And you used to see a whole bunch of it in like the Big 12. Then it started making its way. Coach Saban even implemented, 3-3-5 defenses with his system his last couple of years. Pete Golden, helped implement some of that stuff.
It's my community.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean,
at this station,
there's going to be different philosophies, but 3-3-5s typically you'll see a lot more penetration type defenses. Which makes sense, right? You have less guys on the line of scrimmage, so you need guys to really shoot things and penetrate. But it just allows you a little bit more flexibility defensively, kind of mix things up, give different looks, confuse offenses, and some other stuff. We got to come back here.
In Tuscaloosa.
I'll break that down one of these days.
This Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Carson had some really good points, especially, when he's talking about evaluations, why they're so critical now. You're working with it, we say $20.5 million, but we now know, thanks to Greg Byrne, it's really $18 million with that $2.5 million being dedicated to new scholarships. So it's not going to be as easy just going and loading up on a whole bunch of five-star guys, right? Yeah, you still can use collective stuff and then NIL deals, but they have to be legitimate deals, and you have to find a way to get those cleared. Remember, you got the NIL Go clearinghouse, man, and they're just not going to let stuff just fly by. So that being said, let's go back to the phone lines, 25342-9904. Up next, we got Tommy. Tommy, welcome in.
Hey, Christian, how are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Can't complain. Well, no, I think Alabama this year is doing a better year evaluating recruits because he had a lot on his plate last year. Coming in, trying to keep players from leaving, and he didn't get all the coaches he wanted like he did this year. I mean, it was a growth spurt, as you say. A maturity. He figured out what he needed to do. He all said, we're going to be fine. I know we can go people's way like, we're not getting commitments. People, don't worry about it. We're going to get who we want. And like the kid decommitted from Rutgers. Well, he might be a 3-star, but everybody I heard say he got an upside. He might be evaluated to a 4-star. So when you're a 3-star and Alabama looking at you and they say, hey, Alabama wants me. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be practicing and playing against the best players in the country. It's all upside. I'm going to get the coaches I need to get me to the next level, to make me a better football player. If it takes him 2 years to get in the starting lineup, he knows it's going to take him 2 years. He's going to be committed. So everybody just relax. Taylor DeMoore is in control, so we good.
Yeah, I think everybody's relaxed. I think it's just more so you got some people that initially they see, I guess like some 3-stars being flipped, and then immediately everybody. The problem is the comparison, right? And they always say comparison is the thief of joy, right? Because everybody's comparing everything to we used to just get 5-star after 5-star, and you still are getting top players. But yeah, you're going to sprinkle in some 3-star guys here. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the most important thing is people understand, man. It's not about what you're ranked in high school. It's about what you do when you get here. And there's been a number of guys that weren't the highest rated coming out of high school. And there's some guys that were the highest rated coming out of high school and didn't end up developing how people thought. So, you just got to, like you said, man, trust the coaching staff. I think development will be huge. And look, I mean, it's part of it. The good news is if you have a coaching staff that can evaluate and develop, it really doesn't matter what guys are ranked because, they're going to end up being the best players that they can be and for your team when it's all said and done. And to me, that's what's most important. And if we've seen anything, Tommy, in year number 1 under Kalen DeBoer, it's been that the guys they brought in this last class, at least just going off the spring, are really good football players, man. And not just from what they're rated. I'm saying more off of, what they look like. I mean, you look at the receiver they brought in that everybody's comparing to Jalen Waddle. He wasn't like a top-rated guy. I mean, I think he might have been a 4-star, but it looks like they might have found something in him. Tall kid, Meadows, I believe, from out west, right? Again, another 4-star guy, but you look at him. I mean, the two of those guys, I'd argue, I think they're probably, top 100 players, top 120 players, but to me, you're like, hey, man, those guys both already look like the potential's there. And that, to me, is already a good sign. So I put my faith in that. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, like last year, when we got our quarterback to commit, everybody was laughing and saying, ooh, Bubba can't give him 4 or 5 stars since Nick Saban. Well, guess what? That kid went out to level, and he got bumped up. Yeah, his stock rose. So, if you get good coaching and you want to be coached, that's the question that we'll find out when you look into this kid. Do they want to learn? Do they want to be coached? They want to be developed? And they want to be better tomorrow than they was today? If you got that 3 factors in the kid, you're not going to lose out on a good football player or any kind of athlete overall. So that's my measly 2 cents for the day. So, hey.
I love it, Tommy. I love it, man. It's been a minute. I feel like you hadn't heard as much from you. I hope. Are you feeling better? I know last time you mentioned that you're kind of coming over was it infection, something like that?
Yeah, infection. This sinus is, I've told you before, I've said on other shows, it might not sound like it. I have a speech problem, and I get real nasally. And when I hear myself, sometimes I'll cut the phone off and turn the radio back on, I'll hear the last 10 seconds of me talking. I'm like, oh my God, do I sound that bad? And it scares me. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, I had a problem 10 to 13 years ago on my acid reflux. That now in my stomach, I know nobody cares, but wouldn't shut. And it really burned my vocal cord where I would talk to a whisper. And they told me that I wouldn't be able to talk much. Well, I have to give Ron Powell a little credit. He called me up, my friend, him and next door neighbors, and he said, you need to call my show because you know too much sports. And I'm like, I'm the last person going to call a show. And y'all hear my voice, right? I mean, I was awful. At the time, I get real. So, yeah, my voice was cracking. I'll have to let it rest for a week or 2. So,
just make sure you take care of yourself, Tommy. That's all that matters, man.
All right, man.
Yes,
sir. Have a good week and roll Tide.
Yes, sir. You too, Tommy. Roll Tide, man. Good deal. All right, we got to hit another timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling on this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
There is no price tag on love. It's not in your bank account or...
Let's see. Catch back up. But yeah, QD, I'll definitely break down at 335 a little bit more. But that's really about the biggest points when it comes to it, man. It gives you more flexibility, creates some confusion. The way you can line guys up typically is more based off of, the slanting ability up front, gives you more blitz options, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Versus traditional, 4 down front, even 3-4 is way different, right? Even though it's 3 down linemen, it looks way different. So that's the biggest gist. I mean, I will say, I mean, some people feel it makes you a little, I mean, in terms of like the run stopping ability, they do feel, since it gives you different ways to really attack in terms of, sending guys, plugging guys, slanting guys. But to me, I'm like, with that, it's kind of like you do risk, like, just like with anything else, sometimes when you try to get too cute or you're doing too much, it kind of can backfire. I feel like it's similar with that versus, when we used to just play nickel, we'd have a 4 down front. Yeah, we'd have a jack, but I mean, the jack would normally just put his hand in the dirt and he's playing. It's like a true 5 technique. I mean, we just had 4 down physical, guys up front. And you guys saw how that stopped the run. You know what I mean? But obviously, in today's college football, with the changes offensively, that does, some of those more traditional fronts defensively do leave you a little bit more limited. Running something like this, because you can always, with a 3-3-5, you can get to a 3-4. You know what I mean? Like, it's no different. You just, it's, if you have the certain personnel, you can always, get to things and move guys around and whatnot. I don't know. I will say this. I mean, I've never been like a big 3-3-5 guy. I'm not the biggest fan of it personally. But when I say it's growing on me, I wouldn't say it's growing on me like, oh, I like it now. It's more so it's growing on me like, I was like, all right, I don't think it's as vulnerable as I thought. Initially, I'm like, dude, you're just gonna get the ball ran down your throat. You got three down linemen. But if you do it right and you have guys that can really shoot things and they understand how to play within it, it can definitely be effective and it can help you out. Man, I feel like I might have been talking too much. I feel like I almost got lightheaded for a second. It's Talking Tuesday, I guess.
And that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. But real quick, let me remind you, this weekend at R&R Cigars, you got to check them out, 2703 Gary Fitz Street here in Tuscaloosa, downtown area. They will be putting on those fights. They've got the Deontay Wilder fight. I believe that one might be Friday. And then Saturday, you've got the UFC fights, but they're putting those on. They are free. To my knowledge, are the only place that you can go to watch these fights for free that put them on here for you. That way you don't have to pay. So make sure you guys check out R&R Cigars again, 2703 Gary Fitz Street here in Tuscaloosa. Plus, if you guys are big cigar guys, obviously they've got the best humidor in the Southeast. You guys know that. But they also have over 160 bourbons for you to try and pair up with those sticks. And even better, guys, if you go to their website, they've got plenty of deals. You can already see 20% off any 20 cigars, or you can also get $100 more, free shipping on $100 or more. But the biggest thing is, if you do want a nice discount, Miller's Edge, use that code MILLERSEDGE, code Miller's Edge. Anytime you order anything from R&R Cigars, that will get you a really nice discount. So don't forget about that. But the big thing this weekend, again, they've got the fights going on. They got the big match with Deontay Wilder. They've got the match, the UFC fights, Charles Oliveira, a couple other guys, big card that they've got. That will be huge. So make sure you guys go on and check out R&R Cigars this weekend. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. All right. I was trying to catch up on some of this stuff in the chat, but I realized we still got a number of calls to get to, so I don't want to leave you guys wait. So let's go back to the phone lines, and we'll do that. 205-342-9904 is the number. Next up, we got Ellis. Ellis, welcome in.
Woo, Christian, what's going on?
What's up, Ellis? How are you?
The heat's up.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that, brother. You're right about that. Wait,
the summertime, though, right?
Wait, hold on, Ellis. Did you just tag us in something? Let me check this out. You need to. You know what you need to do? You need to start like a YouTube channel and start vlogging, man. I feel like you go on all the you go on all the adventures, Ellis. Number one, that food looks amazing. What is that? You got a slab of ribs and is that pulled pork with coleslaw?
Pulled pork barbecue sandwich.
Dang, is that you and your mother right there?
Yes, that's my 89-year-old mother.
Man, she looks great, man. And then you got pig leg porker. Is that where you ate at? Where is
in Nashville?
Nashville?
It's in Nashville. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you be on the move, Ellis. I love it.
Yeah, I went down, and I got to ask you something. I know this is sports, but do you like history?
I do, man. Believe it or not, I do. I wouldn't say like I know everything, but like when I was in school, I did enjoy taking history classes. I like learning about history.
Well, they got the State History Museum that's in downtown Nashville. That is an amazing place to go to, Christian.
Really?
I mean,
and it's state history, you said? So Tennessee history?
Yes, and you can't do it in one day. They've got that much stuff in there.
Wow. I'm going to have to check it out one day. That's cool, man. I don't know a whole bunch about Tennessee like that, honestly. I mean, I know a few facts about Tennessee, but not a whole bunch.
Well, we spent 2 hours in there. And just let Mama do all. Yeah, she's done a lot of reading, which that's good for her. You know.
Wow.
Get that brain occupied.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome.
And next, I want to talk about the recruiting that we're doing and the players that we're getting. I think it's pretty amazing all the good players that we are getting.
Yeah, no, we've been on a roll this week. It seems like I think we got 3 in the last 2 days.
Yeah. What about the running back from Illinois?
Is it Barnett? Is that his last name? The one that we just flipped?
Yeah, flipped from Illinois stuff.
Yeah, Ellis. We watched a little bit of his tape yesterday, man. What I would say is I like Carson's comparison. Kind of reminded me of B-Rob a little bit. Just kind of size and how he runs. Looks to be a little bit of a bigger back. I mean, I think he's listed like 6 foot 215, something like that. He's got decent speed. I wouldn't say he's a burner, you know what I mean? But he looks to be a physical guy. Looks to run the ball well. Pretty good vision from what I saw. But I think he'll be solid, man. I mean, again, it's hard to really say, I think this guy's going to be this, that. I mean, I think we have a number of backs right now, but to me, he looks like a guy that you give him a couple of years to develop, he'll probably, end up being a decent option back there. But, I'd be lying if I said, I think he's going to come in here and immediately be the guy. I mean, even we have like 5 stars that come in here and they have to, for some reason with our running backs, I feel like it always takes about a year or two for them to really grow into what they could really be. So I think he's probably a couple of years down the road from being a true impact guy, but looks like a good pickup to me.
And quarterback looks like a good pickup. The one that
Jet.
I think.
Yeah, he looks solid.
On the show yesterday.
Yeah, I would say the same thing about him, Ellis. He looks to be a good player. I've seen him make some good throws on his tape. I mean, I would say the same thing about him. He strikes me as a guy too that probably a few years from seeing him, really, step up and really compete for that job. But nonetheless, man, he looks like he's got some good tools to work with. He's got good length, he's like 6'4". I mean, I wouldn't say he's like the most athletic guy, but he looks like he's got decent athletic ability. But some of the throws he was making, I was impressed with. But I'm excited to at least watch him go into a senior year, see how he performs. But I think that also was a really good pickup.
Yeah. And I've seen one more, I can't think of his name, but it shows like a video of him. And I think he's an offensive lineman. And it showed him running over somebody, just pushing the guy plumb down on the ground. I know. Big old dude, too.
Yeah, I know we did pick up a defensive lineman. That would be the other guy that we picked up recently. And he's out of Indianapolis, that area. I didn't see an offensive lineman, but yeah, man, anytime you get an offensive lineman that shows physicality on film and has the traits that you're looking for, you're always excited to get a guy like that and be able to work with him.
Yeah. And I That's about all I got to say. Just one more thing. What about punters and kickers? We've not talked nothing about that. And last year it just wasn't good at all.
You're talking about the guys that we currently have on the roster right now, or are you talking about recruiting? You're talking about who we have for the season, right?
Yeah, are we recruiting any? Or in the portal? Cause.
Well, I do know you got Connor Talty, who I think is going on his third year, if I'm not mistaken. Going to be the kicker more than likely. Then we did sign that guy. I think didn't we sign a punter out of the transfer portal or something like that? From was it somewhere coal mining university or something like that? But last year we did have I'm being funny, but it was something about School of the Mines or something like that. It's a very small school. Yeah, I thought James Burnett was one of the better punters in the country last year, without a doubt. So we do have to replace him. I'm looking at. I think who is it? I don't know. I think we signed a punter out of high school last year, and I think we brought somebody in via the portal. So I'll be honest with you, Ellis. Now that you bring it up, I didn't even really pay attention to that this spring. Probably something you should take a look at.
Yeah, because that's got to be concerning right there. Because we got to have one of them.
Yeah, here it is. So Blake Dude, or maybe I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, Colorado School of the Mines. He transferred here, and then you also got Alex Asparuhov. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was a freshman that we signed from California. So I guess those two will be competing for that job. Obviously, some big shoes to fill, literally and physically. Obviously, I mean, James Burnett, big dude, had a big leg, but yeah, that is important, Ellis. That's a good point you bring up, man. Hopefully that is a position we take care of, because that field position, man, is huge, especially when it comes to punting.
Yes. We got to have that. But,
yeah, we do, man. Good point, man.
How many bottles of water you drunk already?
Man, that's a great question. So I got this big old Yeti, but not a Yeti. Sorry, a Stanley. It's like I don't know, maybe it's 32 ounces, maybe.
I've got one of these. Well, I'm at work here in a town called Tullahoma, and they got water here in bottles, and I've already I'm working on my 7th bottle right now.
That's good, man. I'm telling you, got to stay hydrated, especially with this weather out here, man. Got to stay hydrated.
Got to.
No doubt.
Got to.
Well, I'll let you get back at it, man. I appreciate you hollering at us per usual. And thanks for sharing those pictures, man. Those are great pictures, Ellis.
Yes, sir. And good call, Tommy Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Always, man. Love hearing from the both of you, man. All of our callers. Appreciate all you guys, man. You be easy, Ellis.
All right. Okay. Yes, sir.
Roll Tide. All right. Quick timeout. We come back. I always say this. I don't like saying this because it sounds like we're closing the show. One more segment to go when we come back after a quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I wasn't even really watching his highlights. Carson, what do you think, man? You've been in here. What do you think about? Oh, they just finished. Wait, let me go back. I didn't really pay attention to it. Let's see. He is, let me see, what? 6'3", 180. Definitely need to hit the weight room. But, man, again, you can make them wider. You can't make them longer. All right. I wonder, did he camp with us? Did he come to a camp and then they offered him? Oh, let me just make this full screen. That way you guys can really see. Yeah, JK was incredible, man. His first punt was literally like 70-something yards, something crazy, our freshman year.
if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, I mean, in the most respectful way, I mean, he doesn't really jump out to me. The thing is, though, with recruiting, man, again, it's not always about everything you're necessarily just seeing. I mean, again, if he's 6'3", you've seen him move in person, you've seen him, work. I mean, they'd have a better idea. I mean, the tape itself, I wouldn't say is like the most impressive thing, but I think with the way they like to play defense, being that kind of vision coverage, let guys kind of roam and stuff like that. Maybe you got a 6'3" athlete at safety. You could develop him and maybe he ends up kind of fitting with what you want to do, you know what I mean? But he definitely fits the style of play Kenny wants from a safety, shows versatility, being rangy. Also not afraid to pursue the ball. I think that's probably the strength of his game. Add 22, I think we're cooking. I like the downhill game. Yeah, for a smaller guy, though, I mean, I will say, he does come down in a physical way.
Learn more at.
I'll be honest, there just really wasn't even much to really. I mean, what was numbers on there? I didn't really see. I don't even know if I saw like an interception like that. Maybe I'm a little tired. Maybe I wasn't paying attention like that. Let me see. I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm just gonna be straight up. Yeah, he had to be at camp. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Watching that, I wouldn't necessarily off jump say that he looks to be an Alabama level type player. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be honest. But if they saw him work at camp and they felt otherwise, I mean, that's all that matters, But I don't get caught up in it. Whether he comes here for depth, whether he comes here and ends up being a great player. I mean, hell, he's here, man. I'm gonna support him.
Real cash back with upside just by buying the gas you're already buying.
But to me, I mean, you see like his offers. I mean, to me, I feel like that's kind of probably right now, from what I saw, it's probably a little bit more his level. But again, we're going off that.
I earned from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Was that old? Maybe that's a little bit old. I don't know. No, I said junior. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna write him off though. I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm just my honest take is
100.9 Tuscaloosa.
He don't necessarily strike me as an Alabama level player right now, at least. But hey, man, he's committed here. He got my support. Good for him.
Related afternoon thunderstorms. A high tomorrow, 95. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 92 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Talking Tuesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. QD says, you're scaring me, Christian. Christian is not chapsticking at all. Well, here's the thing. I mean, what he's referring to is we watched the highlights of Rael Kelly, safety that we flipped from Rutgers, and look, guys, I'm honest with my takes. You guys know I'm gonna be as respectful as possible. But if I'm just being completely honest with you, from the tape that we watched, he does not jump off the tape, and he doesn't strike me as somebody that's necessarily like Alabama level of guy. I mean, you look at his offers up there, I think that probably was about in line. I mean, Rutgers, Toledo, Bowling Green, Eastern Kentucky. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, that being said, I think, look, man, you work with him. He's got the frame. He's 6'3". Definitely needs to add on some weight. At 180 pounds, he's going to put on some weight. But he's a guy that maybe could be a little bit of a project. I mean, that's great length in the back end. I mean, you put him around some of these other players and see what he grows into, right? I don't want it to sound like I'm like, oh man, no. I just said to the YouTube chat, man. Anybody that's coming here, plays here, recruiting to play here, whatever, you got my support, man. I hope the best for him. But my honest football take after watching that, definitely more of probably a project guy, developmental piece, just kind of see what happens. But nothing wrong with that, man. You need depth, right? And you guys also have to remember this too. Technically, they're kind of going away with walk-ons. Isn't that still the case? Whatever. So with like the new roster numbers, technically, I mean, you're going to have to get guys like this if you think about it, right? To have depth. You get what I'm saying? So that's something to keep in mind too. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's how it works. That being said, let's go. Oh, we got one more call. Let's go to the phone lines to wrap things up. We got Ram on there. Ram, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here, Christian.
Hey,
good to hook up.
Yeah, man. Great to hear from you. How have you been?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to hook up with you. I'm just got through walking and there's vehicles going by. I want to give a shout out to Tommy and tell him when I hear myself talk, I wonder who in the world it is. I think we all do that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's funny. I used to always, when I was younger, I used to play around and make skate videos with my friends. And I used to watch the video back. And I used to be like, I hate the way I sound. So, yeah, I think everybody's kind of like that.
I think so. I want to make a point about evaluating and our coaching staff, but you take Michael Penix, he's starting quarterback for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Tennessee said you're not good enough to play for us.
Dang.
And he went, and then we got an All-American center who a lot of schools said was too small to be center.
That's true.
And so I think that kind of speaks well of their ability to evaluate.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, like I said, I don't worry about the numbers or anything like that. And in my head, I view it as this, man. I mean, you just got to trust them. They've been able to see these guys, put eyes on them, and they know how they're going to want to use them, how they can fit in there. And you just got to see how it goes. So you're going to hit on some guys, you're going to miss on some guys. That's part of it, man. But my rule is, man, if you're putting on that crimson, man, you got my support.
Right.
Absolutely. I hope you're staying hydrated out there walking, Ram. I know it's hot, man.
Oh, I am sucking it down, I'll tell you. One more thing I want to ask you, and I know you haven't got much time, but Christian, have you heard anything else about the Title IX deal on the funding and everything?
You sounded a little bit far away from what you said. Have I heard anything about the what? I'm sorry.
Christian, I think I lost today.
Can you hear me?
Christian.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Chase, do you still have me? Is that his phone line or is that mine?
I'm still with you. It might be on his side.
Yeah, I know sometimes his connection's a little rough. I think when he's walking. I didn't. Did you hear what he said? Have I heard of something?
It was kind of hazy. I was just trying to see if he could play it out. I'm gonna get him off the phone lines and see if he's still there. Give me 1 second, Christian.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I was trying to make out what he said. It was, have I seen something with something? But I didn't quite catch everything he said. Let me look in the chat while Chase does that. Jaire Edwards. Which guy is that? Is that the linebacker we talked a little bit about? I'm starting to learn a little bit more about these recruits because you guys. So thank you guys. Okay, he dropped. He had some bad service. Well, Ram, I hate that we had you dropped on there, but you know the drill, man. Call us back tomorrow because we're running out of time now. We're about to wrap things up here on this Talking Tuesday edition of the show. That being said, we will go ahead and wrap things up because we need to make sure Wyatt has plenty of time to hop on here and do his thing. Who's coming up next? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate all the app messages, all the phone calls, all the YouTube chat messages, everybody hanging out with us. Appreciate Chase behind the glass per usual. It's been another fun one right here on the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. We'll do it all again tomorrow, right here, 11 to 1 Central Time, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, the home of Alabama sports.